In this installment, we're going to be going over the NFL bet slate for Week 17, the entire slate. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our Week 17 full slate breakdown. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 8.74 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10K, and we're well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you're already subscribed, continue to like and comment because that helps the YouTube algorithm so we can grow to a much broader audience. All right, now on that Patreon, we had a pretty solid Friday here in college football and really in the NBA here. So some of the plays we hit, where as you can see right there, Vanderbilt plus 3.5, that came through, they outright won. USC late had the plus 4.5, they came through and outright won. And then I gave out Kyle McCord. I boosted it up on this particular ticket here. Kyle McCord over 350 yards. Kyle McCord to have 5 touchdowns in that cash. As you can see, the plays on that particular day, Oklahoma did not come through, but the under did. We had the Vanderbilt to cover. Texas Tech did not come through. Syracuse pushed with the 17, and then we went on a little bit of a run here. Syracuse to go over 30 points total. Kyle McCord over 350 yards. Kyle McCord over 3 TDs. USC plus 4. All that cash. And then for NBA, we only got one wrong. Warriors plus 6, but we got Spurs money line, Timberwolves, Cavs, Mavericks, and the Celtics to cover the 9.5. So phenomenal Friday that we had. If you want to sign up for more winning plays, guys, you click on that link provided down below in the description. You get locked up. You're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. I'm so excited to announce I have partnered with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert to provide you guys with an easier way to sign up with any sportsbook in your area. If you go to the link in the description down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you could take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. All right, first game up here in Highmark Stadium. Buffalo Bills 12-3 going against the New York Jets here 4-11. Another AFC East battle. To finish out the Buffalo Bills schedule, they're going to have 2 of these AFC East battles. So looking at the current odds right now, Bills minus 550 on the money line with the comeback of the Jets at a plus 400. Point spread set at 10. Total points set at 46.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 97% of the bets, 97% of the money towards the side of the Buffalo Bills. For the point spread, 69% of the bets, 72% of the money towards the Bills to cover the 10. And for the total points there, 67% of the bets, 52% of the money towards the over 46. All right, looking at the injury report here in this game, starting off with the Buffalo Bills, everyone is going to be fine. For the Buffalo Bills, a whole bunch of Q tags, but everyone here is going to give it a go. Just pay attention just in case you get some late news on the Buffalo Bills, but they're looking pretty healthy and they want to stay healthy going into the playoffs. And since they are pretty much locked into that 2 spot. All right, New York Jets. Whole bunch of Q tags here. Devontae Adams got in limited on Friday. He should be good to go. D tackle Leke Fotu is going to be out. This will be 2 weeks in a row. He's going to be out here. Everyone else should be fine for the New York Jets. Morgan Moses looks like he's fine. Elijah Vera-Tucker looks like he's fine. Hassan Reddick, Tony Adams, they look pretty healthy here, the New York Jets. Looking like they're going to be finally all up to code here with all their players, okay? So this particular matchup here between the Jets and the Bills, you don't really need to dig deep here and look at stats and everything, because the Buffalo Bills are locked up in the number 2 seed. They can't move up and they can't go below, so they are locked in. There is no reason for them to stress this game here. All right, as you saw in that New England Patriots game, they got the win. That's all they're here to do. They're going to get the win and move on. That's why they did not cover in that game against the New England Patriots. They let them stay right in that game all the way down to the wire. New York Jets, on the other hand, they have nothing to lose, okay? Obviously, they tried, and they played valiantly in the first 3 quarters of that game, and then lost in that 4th quarter against the LA Rams. But they were in a must-win situation. Literally, the Bills have nothing to play for. Looking at the standings here, Buffalo Bills at number 2 locked in. Baltimore Ravens are 11-5 below them. They have the tiebreaker against them. And Kansas City Chiefs are above them, and they cannot catch up to them as well. So this is pretty much it here for the Buffalo Bills until they get into the playoffs. So all the value here is on that point spread. I'm going to play this game here any particular way, I'm going to play it 2 ways. I'm either going to take the plus 10 points here on the Jets, because you have a less motivated team here in the Buffalo Bills. There's no reason to go out and give it their all and just run up the score. Jets are still going to be playing their starters. Aaron Rodgers he might be retiring, so this might be his last go between him and Devontae Adams. They're going to make sure they have fun on that field. So plus 10 on the Jets, give me those points. And if I'm taking the total, I would go with the under. All right, I don't expect them to run up this game. I don't expect Josh Allen to play the complete game as well. If there's any type of injury scare, he's getting pulled. He's getting pulled, and they're going to save him for the playoff run. So the 2 plays here in this game, Jets plus 10, and take the under on the 46 in the total points here. I don't see this as a very high scoring environment as well. In MetLife Stadium here, we have the New York Giants 2-13 going against the Indianapolis Colts 7-8 in MetLife Stadium here. Looking at the current odds for this game, Colts are solidified road favorites here, minus 400 on the money line, with the comeback of the New York Giants at a plus 300. Point spread at 7.5. and the total points at 40.5. All right, full game public bet percentage here, 94% of the bets, 95% of the money all over the Colts. For the point spread, 75% of the bets, 74% of the money all over the Colts to cover. And for the total points here, 76% of the bets, 66% of the money towards the over 40.5. All right, looking at the injury report here for the New York Giants, there's a lot of guys missing here. Raheem Lane, safety, he's out. Michael McFadden, the linebacker, he's out. Jonah Michael Schmitz, their center, he's out. Greg Stroman, their cornerback, he's out. And that is about it there for the New York Giants. Everyone else is questionable. So if we find out further news there, make sure you check back at that injury report here. But they're missing some key components here on the defensive side of the ball and offensive line. So major issues there. Plus the fact that they got Drew Lock as your quarterback, Tommy DeVito is your backup. This is not a very good situation here. This is a New York Giants team, that is very, very desperate for QB help. And we'll talk about that very soon. All right, Colts coming in, the only guy that looks like is going to be question mark to play here is Anthony Richardson, and I checked, he is going to be out of this game. Joe Flacco will start as QB. So they really don't miss much here in points per game switching over to Joe Flacco. It's just that this passing offense looks even better when Joe Flacco does start. So more balls to Josh Downs, more balls to Michael Pittman and Adesanya Mitchell. So they got tons of weapons here, and it could get really dangerous here against this Giants team that has looked absolutely putrid. And as we've seen the last couple weeks, they do not care. This team here, that performance we saw against the Atlanta Falcons was absolutely embarrassing. And the Drew Lock gave that game away. 2 interceptions returned for a touchdown. They can't move the ball. They can't stop the ball as well. And this is a clear team that is locking in that number 1 spot here. There's already reports that they already know who they're going to take with Shedeur Sanders, obviously. There's already pictures of him having New York Giants cleats. So this team right here in the New York Giants, are all minds for them right now is on the draft and solidifying their QB of the future. Colts here, we have Joe Flacco starting as QB here. Mostly his motivation here. This guy could retire at any moment. He's going to go out guns blazing in this particular matchup here. That's what makes me look at the total. I do not trust the Giants to put together strong offensive performances here. And the Colts team here defensively did okay enough against Tennessee here. But will they give up points to Drew Lock is the question. So I think Joe Flacco is a gunslinger. He's going to run up the score. I think that they can I think Drew Lock can put some things together, get some neighbor stats, make neighbors go over 1,000 yards receiving. The total is very low at 40.5. I'm going to lean towards the over in this point, all right? But the main play here, can't trust the Giants to keep up pace with the Colts. And we're taking the Colts minus 7.5. We're not going to be afraid of this point spread here. The Giants are that bad, all right? So give me the Colts to cover. And if we're going with the total, I'm going to go with a slight lean towards the over 40.5 in this one for this game. In Caesars Superdome here, we have the New Orleans Saints 5-10 going up against the Las Vegas Raiders 3-12. Looking at the current odds for this one, Raiders road favorites minus 125 on our money line. With the comeback of the Saints with a plus 105. Point spread set at 2. Total points set at 37.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 52% of the bets on the side of Raiders, but we have 64% of the money here. Sharps are on the side of the New Orleans Saints. All right, so this is really weird right here. Looking at the sharps coming in on the Saints. Very, very interesting in that point there. For the point spread, 55% of the bets towards the Raiders to cover, 65% of the money towards the Raiders to cover as well. All right. For the total points, 80% of the bets towards the over, but sharps are hitting it heavy on the under 37.5. 45% of the money is coming in on the under 37.5. As you can see, compared to the bet percentage, more sharps are coming in on the under 37.5. All right. Looking at the injury report here for these two teams, Raiders are dealing with one injury. Jordan Meredith, their offensive guard, he's going to be out this game. Saints are dealing with a plethora of injuries. No Derek Carr, no Alvin Kamara, no Eric McCoy, no Lucas Patrick, no Chris Olave. He's been downgraded. And Q tags on Nate Shepard, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Rico Payton with an illness. All right. So what we witnessed from that Saints team last week was absolutely putrid against Green Bay. They were not able to muster up any offense in that game. And that Rattler is not ready. All right. Rattler's not ready. There's many issues here on the offensive side of the ball, offensive line, running back. This is an incapable team here in the New Orleans Saints. And the fact that they're underdogs and set this line as underdogs at home says so much, even against the Las Vegas Raiders and Aiden O'Connell. All right. At least O'Connell can function and run a pro offense, at least decently. What we've seen from Spencer Rattler here has been absolutely putrid, and his mistakes are going to be very, very costly for him there. The Raiders still have a defense to stand on, and they still have some weapons there. Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, and such that they can at least rely on here. I definitely see this side that the better quarterback is on the side of the Raiders, and the better coach is on the side of the Raiders here. Antonio Pierce already came out and said, what are we tanking for? All right. He's still trying to keep his job here. I think he is the right guy for it. They just need to improve the talent around this organization. So the play here is, I cannot, just like the Giants, you cannot trust the Saints with Spencer Rattler at QB. He's going to be starting yet again in his fifth start. He's winless, and it does not look good for him. He's going to be throwing the ball to a bunch of backups and running the ball with a bunch of backups as well, with Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller. So many issues here on the Saints side. I'm going to have to trust the Raiders in this one. Give me them on the money line and give me them to cover the spread. If we're looking at a total, I will go with the under 37.5 in this one. I see this as a very low scoring environment. Let's move on to the next. In Lincoln Financial Field, Philadelphia Eagles 12-3 going up against the Dallas Cowboys 7-8. Looking at the current odds here, we have the Eagles minus 375 on the money line with the comeback of the Cowboys at a plus 300. Point spread set at 7.5. Total points set at 38. Full game public bet percentage here, 94% of the bets, 82% of the money all over the Eagles. For the point spread, 57% of the bets on the side of the Eagles, but 56% of the money here. Sharps are looking at the Dallas Cowboys plus 7.5 as a value spot here. Total points, 85% of the bets towards the over, but sharps are on the under here. 52% of the bets, 52% of the money on the under 38 in this particular game. And that's a good play there. We're going to explain why very soon. All right, looking at the injury report here for these two teams, the Philadelphia Eagles are dealing with some issues here. Brent Covey, wide receiver, he's going to be out. Nakobe Dean, linebacker, is going to be doubtful. And the big news here, Jalen Hurts with the left finger and concussion is going to be out of this game. Not to mention Will Shipley will be out, their backup running back. All right, so Kenny Pickett will be the starting QB here for the Philadelphia Eagles in this game. He did okay in his start again, well, not start, but coming in for Jalen Hurts in that Commanders game. It just was too much Jaden Daniels, and that's why they came back against the Philadelphia Eagles defense. All right, for the Cowboys, they're missing a lot of guys here. TJ Bass is out, their tackle. Keemon Hall, their DB, is going to be out. CeeDee Lamb is going to be out of this game as well. And some other guys that are going to be out will be Amani Awari here. Their cornerback is going to be out as well. Everyone else is questionable, but most likely going to play in this game. So some big losses there in CeeDee Lamb and a defensive loss in their cornerback. That's going to be a major issue here. And then the Eagles are dealing with it without their main QB and leader in Jalen Hurts. So this game here has some clear points that we're going to lean into. We have no starting quarterback on the Eagles side. We have a backup quarterback in Kenny Pickett that is up and down pretty much. He's still not what you expect here, and he still has to learn this offense. He was able to get a touchdown last week, but threw an interception. That was a big question mark. And then the Cowboys here at Cooper Rush. Yes, he's played pretty solidly this year, but he's going up against the Philadelphia Eagles defense, which is still very stout, and the Eagles still have an opportunity to take over that number 1 seed in the NFC. All right, the scenario for them, despite the fact that they lost to the Commanders in that game, the way that they can get that number 1 seed will be if the Eagles win out, obviously beat the Cowboys, beat the Giants. They also need the Lions to lose to the 49ers and the Vikings to lose to Green Bay Packers, all right? And then still they need the Vikings to beat the Lions in Week 18. So some scenarios there are very, very possible, but it did hurt that the fact that they lost to the Commanders last week, all right? So the plays that we're going to go in this particular matchup here for this NFC East battle will be the Eagles and Cowboys under 38. I think this total goes under. I agree with the sharps here with that 52%. I don't see a very high scoring environment here with Kenny Pickett going up against Cooper Rush in this defense. And for the cover, I think that they're not going to be able to cover this spread. I will not trust Kenny Pickett in this offense here. Give me the plus 7.5 in the Cowboys here. That's the best value on the table. This Cowboys defense should be able to create pretty much of a havoc here against Kenny Pickett and keep this game very tight and close. You have a low total, so this is going to be within that 7.5 points. So our plays here, plus 7.5 on the Cowboys and the under on the 38. In the Raymond James Stadium here, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 8-7 going against the Carolina Panthers 4-11. Looking at this game here in the odds, Buccaneers solidified home favorites minus 450 on the money line with the comeback of the Panthers at a plus 350. Point spread set at 9, total points set at 48. All right, public bet percentage here, 95% of the bets, 91% of the money all over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For the point spread, 52% of the bets, 60% of the money towards Tampa Bay to cover the 9. And for the total points, we have 66% of the bets, 58% of the money towards the over 48 in the total. Looking at the injury report, this is a very extensive injury report here for the Carolina Panthers, and mainly on that defensive side. All right, Taylor Moton doubtful, Shea Smith-Wade out, J.C. Horn, their number 1 corner, doubtful, Chuba Hubbard is on the IR, Jadeveon Clowney is highly questionable, Josie Jewell, one of the better linebackers, is out as well, and then we got Q tags on Leggett and their DN on Robinson here. He got a DNP on Friday. That's a major concern. We'll see if he can give it a go in this game here. And then we have some Q tags on Damian Lewis, guard, and Cam Gill, linebacker. So this defense here and some key points, the cornerback position and a linebacker could be dealing with some major issues there on the defensive side of the ball. Tampa Bay Buccaneers here, they're dealing with some outs. Cade Otton, pretty much their number 2 wide receiver here, he's going to be out. Sterling Shepard is going to be out. Antoine Winfield, their safety, is going to be out. Their leader, one of their leaders on defense as well. So some major points here and injuries on both sides of the ball that are major question marks here. When you're looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they really hurt their chances here, despite the fact that they were on a 4-game winning streak. They came into that game against Dallas in a must-win situation and lost to Cooper Rush. Now, that really hurt them in the playoff picture here. If you're looking at them now, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 9th overall. There's 2 games back behind the Washington Commanders, and I don't see the Commanders losing 2 games in a row to have the opportunity there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to creep in here. I think the Commanders, especially with that win against the Philadelphia Eagles, that was a big win. I think they have solidified themselves as that number 7 seed. They do have a tough game this week here. Commanders going up against the Falcons, and then next week they do have to deal with, let's see what they close it off with, the Cowboys. So that's a very winnable game there for a team that does not really care, and they're pretty much done for the season as well. I think Jaden Daniels has solidified themselves as a spy here in the playoffs. He's either going to show up in this game against the Falcons, against a rookie QB, or against the Dallas Cowboys here. So Tampa Bay Buccaneers, yes, they have some hope a little bit, but that was a big loss and it showed a lot there. That was a must-win situation against Dallas, and they really hurt themselves. Carolina, on the other end, have been playing tough every week here. Against Kansas City, they almost beat them. Against Tampa Bay, they almost beat them before. Against the Philadelphia Eagles, they took them all the way down to the wire, and then they finally beat the Arizona Cardinals 36-30 in a shootout type of environment. So this is their second opportunity here in division matchup here. Panthers, Buccaneers, that 9 points is just too big. The best play on the table here for this game, give me the Panthers +9. I get all the injuries that they have defensively, but that they're still going to keep themselves in this game, especially what we've seen from Bryce Young. He's been one of the better quarterbacks here in this last 6 weeks here in this stretch run to finish the year. All right, Bryce Young has looked phenomenal, and he's going to really emerge next year. So +9 on the Panthers, and I love the total on the over. Both of these teams are going to go out guns blazing in this one here. Give me the over on the 48 for this game. In Everbank Stadium here, Jacksonville Jaguars going against the Tennessee Titans here in an AFC South matchup. Looking at the current odds here, we have the Jaguars on the money line as -115, Titans on the comeback at a -105. This game is pretty much a pick 'em here. Point spread set at 1, total points set at 39.5. Public bet percentage here, 66% of the bets, 57% of the money towards the Jacksonville Jaguars. For the point spread, 54% of the bets, 66% of the money towards the Tennessee Titans. And for the total points, we have 77% of the bets, 60% of the money towards the over 39.5. All right. Injury report here for these two teams. Starting off with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Walker Little, tackle, he's going to be out. Ventrell Miller, linebacker, he's going to be out. Darnell Savage, safety, he's going to be out. And we have a big Q tag on Yasir Abdullah, their linebacker. All right. Tennessee Titans are dealing with some guys that are out as well. Nick Folk, their kicker, is going to be out. Dylan Rudines, lineman, is going to be out. Otis Reese, linebacker, is going to be out. Colton Dowell, wide receiver, is going to be out. And Bryce Oliver is highly questionable with a DNP on Friday. All right. So this here in division matchup between these two teams here, Titans, Jaguars, in their first game. This was a very low scoring environment with the Jaguars beating the Titans 10-6. Very ugly game here that we saw in that one. For this one, I think there's going to be a reverse. Okay. I don't see that this game as a 10-6 environment. I think things turn up a little bit here. We have the connection here on one side with Mac Jones and Brian Thomas Jr. I think they're going to be successful yet again in this spot here, and definitely going to force the issue on the other end. Mason Mason Rudolph, not saying he's super explosive, but can manage this offense here, doesn't make mistakes, and really makes them a little bit more of a more explosive team other than going to Will Levis. Will Levis makes too many mistakes and turns the ball over too much. At least they keep the ball in the hands of this offense and make them have opportunities to score the rock here. I love this game for an over, all right? It's going to be the opposite of what we saw in that first matchup there. Give me the over on the 39.5. I think both of these teams here will be able to move the football. And to get the win here, because this is pretty much a pick 'em, give me the Titans to get some revenge here and beat the Jacksonville Jaguars and send Doug Peterson packing here. Give me the Titans on the money line and the over on the 39.5. In Huntington Bank Field, we have the Cleveland Browns 3-12 going against the Miami Dolphins 7-8. Looking at the current odds here, Dolphins are road favorites -190 on the money line with the comeback of the Browns at a +155. Point spread at a 3.5. Total points set at 34. All right, full game public bet percentage here: 93% of the bets, 98% of the money all over Miami for the point spread. 74% of the bets, 77% of the money on Miami to cover that 3.5, and for the total points, 85% of the bets, 58% of the money towards the under 34 in the total. Sharps are on the under in this game, mainly because looking at the injury report here for this team, for this game here between the Dolphins and the Browns, we have major injury news here at the quarterback position for the Dolphins, and that's going to be no Tua Tagovailoa. He will not be able to play in this game. He is doubtful. Other guys that will be out: Kendall Fuller, the cornerback, will be out. Anthony Walker, linebacker, will be out as well. We got some Q tags on Jordan Poyer and Jalen Waddle, not to mention Tyreek Hill and D. Eskridge. Those three wide receivers all questionable in this game, but trending towards playing. So that's a little bit of a positive note. Tyler Huntley will be the starting quarterback yet again. We'll talk about him in 1 second. All right. Cleveland Browns injury report: no David Njoku, no Ogbu, their DN, he's going to be out, and then Dorian Thompson-Robinson is going to be starting at QB yet again, despite the fact that Jameis Winston is questionable to play with his right shoulder. All right. So in the games with Tyler Huntley as the starter, all right, it was 3 games. The Miami Dolphins offense, remember, he was just coming into the offense, didn't really get time to adjust and really fully learn the offense. But in those 3 games, he scored 10 points, 15 points, and 12 points. So very, very low scoring totals here. And then on the other side here, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, another rushing type of quarterback. We have 2 rushing type of quarterbacks here. Tyler Huntley is not passing the football, and neither is Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Both of these guys are rushing type quarterbacks. You're going to see a lot of wildcat, a lot of motion, trying to be very creative here in both of their offenses here. And then Dorian Thompson-Robinson against the Bengals was horrible. Only 6 points against the Bengals there, and it made the Bengals defense look actually good, but it really isn't. All right. So the best point here, all right, you gotta go with the under. All right, give me the under on the 34. Tyler Huntley not be able to really struggling to run this offense here. He's a rushing type quarterback, really not going to light it up passing the football wise. Browns defensively are very strong, and they're at home as well. That doesn't bode well for him. And on the other end, Dorian Thompson-Robinson isn't going to pass the ball either. He can't orchestrate this offense, makes tons of mistakes as well. The under is definitely in play here. Give me the under on the 34. If we're going with a point spread or money line, I would just choose the Dolphins to win the game straight up. I think that somehow they can muster up enough offense to get to win by a field goal here. I would not trust that 3.5. That sounds like a setup. I would either take the Dolphins on the money line, the Browns plus 3.5, or just take the under on the total of 34. That's going to be our best bet in this game. In the U.S. Bank Stadium here, we have the Minnesota Vikings 13-2 going up against the Green Bay Packers 11-4. Looking at the current odds here for this one, Vikings home favorites -120 with the comeback of the Packers at a +100. Point spread, this one here is a pick'em set at 1. Total points here set at 49. All right, so pretty large total here between these two teams. Full game public bet percentage here: 68% of the bets, 57% of the money all over the Minnesota Vikings. For the point spread, It's opposite here. 61% of the bet, 62% of the money on the Green Bay Packers. So in this pick'em, people are split between these two teams here. And for the total points, 76% of the bets, 70% of the money towards the over 49 in the total. All right. So looking at the injury report, which I'm going to show you in 2 seconds here. Vikings won that first one. So looking at the injury report here, Green Bay Packers, big loss. Jair Alexander will be out of this game. He's been in and out of the lineup the entire season. All right. Being completely healthy with him has been a big question mark for them. So they are very familiar playing without him. All right. Andre Dillard, their tackle, he's going through concussion evaluation and he's going to be out of this game. Quay Walker is going to be out of this game as well. And safety Evan Williams. All right. So they're missing 2 major key points there in the secondary and a question mark at the linebacker position in Quay Walker. Christian Watson is going to be highly questionable in this game here with that knee issue. 3 straight DNPs. That does not bode well for him. All right. For the Vikings, they're pretty much fine. Fabian Moreau, their corner, is going to be out. That does hurt there. He will be out. And then Stephon Gilmore just had rest, so he's going to be fine for this game here. Now, these two teams here, this is a battle of the Titans here. The NFC North has really dominated this whole entire conference in the NFC here. And in the previous matchup, the Vikings were able to beat the Packers in this particular game. So it's going to be very interesting to see here. Can the Packers stop the freight train here of the Minnesota Vikings in this one? And remember, like I said, Vikings won the first game earlier this season against them, all right? This one here, we have the Packers trying to get on the roll, all right? They beat San Francisco. They beat Miami. Had a very tough contested game against the Detroit Lions. Took it all the way to the end. Then dominated Seattle, dominated New Orleans. This Packers team is red hot right now. And then Josh Jacobs is on a whole entire level rushing the football. And I think they found their identity. Okay. So major question marks here with the passing yards against per game. Vikings are very, very susceptible to the pass in Jordan Love. As of late, they have been getting along and getting really through and getting focused here on that run game with Josh Jacobs. But the issue is here, Vikings are very good against stopping the running backs. They're second overall, only allowing 87 yards per game, all right? This is where Jordan Love is going to take it to the next level. I think that the Green Bay Packers bounce back here in this one, solidify themselves a win, and get revenge over the Minnesota Vikings in this one. Give me the Packers on the money line, all right? If you want to play the point spread, fine. Take the +1. But I think that the Packers, they're coming in red hot. I'm loving what I'm seeing from them on the offensive side of the ball and defensively, despite what they're dealing with some of those injuries. The Packers definitely have what it takes to beat the Vikings in this one. So give me the +1, and I love the over on the total. This is going to be a back and forth environment, high scoring game. Packers take it over on the 49. In Northwest Stadium here, we have the Washington Commanders 10-5 going up against the Atlanta Falcons 8-7. Looking at the current odds here, Commanders on the money line -190 with the comeback of the Falcons at a +155. Point spread set at 3.5 and total at 46.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 90% of the bets, 93% of the money all over Washington. For the point spread, 72% of the bets, 80% of the money all over Washington to cover. And for the total points, we have 68% of the bets, 61% of the money towards the over 46.5. All right, injury report here for this game here. Going over to the Commanders. They are going to be without Diami Brown. That's going to be a big loss. Marshawn Lattimore is going to be out. Jordan McGee is going to be out. Tyler Owens is going to be out. And Andrew Wiley is going to be out. So missing some key components here on both sides of the football. For the Falcons, they're missing 2 of their starting corners, and that's a major issue here going up against this team and Jaden Daniels. Antonio Hamilton Sr., he's going to be out. And Kevin King is going to be out as well. So 2 starting corners are going to be out of this game here. Jaden Daniels right now is red hot. All right. So looking at what we've seen from the Commanders, 3 games in a row, beating Tennessee, beating New Orleans and beating Philadelphia. That was a major comeback there against the Philadelphia Eagles, their division rival, and that really bodes well here for Jaden Daniels, getting confidence coming into this game here, going up against the Atlanta Falcons, going up against a rookie QB as well in Michael Penix, all right? So a lot of advantages are going to be on the side of the Washington Commanders. That game against the Giants is supposed to be a close game. They were given 14 points there by Drew Lock. I don't see Jaden Daniels making those type of mistakes. I still see Michael Penix still learning, and I do like this young defense here in the Commanders that does have some upside here. They might struggle against Bijan, but in the passing department, trying to limit Michael Penix, I think they can be very successful. So it leads me for the Commanders on the money line to take them. I think they ultimately win this game. I think the Commanders ultimately cover the spread at 3.5, and I think the total will go under 46.5. I see this Falcons offense being a little bit struggling here with Michael Penix, their rookie quarterback, in his second start. So I'll go with the under 46. Commanders should win this game rather comfortably here against the Falcons, all right? And really come down to next week for that NFC South title between the Falcons and the Buccaneers. All the marbles are going to be on the line week 18. That's what I think here. So those are our selections for the week 17 slate. Let me know in that comment section down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? We can definitely debate about that down below. If you guys want to sign up for the Patreon as well, you click on the description, get locked and loaded. You're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. This is your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.